slightly taller Herbie Hide, but a massive weight differential. That's a key thing here. That 14 stone 3 for Reed was with his boots on and his clothes. He should not have been allowed to weigh in like that, quite honestly, but there you go. Reach advantage for Hide, a minor one. Total fights, Hide has had more. He's boxed a few more rounds. Reed has got a fairly good knockout record, but in minor class, in club class. Hide, only one man has gone the full distance with him. That was Everett Bigfoot Martin, by the way. The rules, mandatory 8 count, no standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule, only the referee can stop it. The bell will not save a fighter in any round, and thank goodness those rules have now been standardized by all the governing bodies. Hallelujah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Warren for Sports Net.
The crowd are hyped up as well as the fighters here, it seems to me.
Okay, gentlemen, you're both receiving the 3 fight instructions. I expect a clean break at all times. No punching after the bell. In the event of a knockdown, or the father should supporter remain there till I signal to come out. Let's have a nice clean fight. Any questions here? Good luck to both of you. Let's touch gloves.
62-year-old Rudy Battle from Philadelphia is the referee, veteran of 50 world title fights, including Glenn's excellent win against Caesar Macatini. Remember? And Damon Reed, what a night for him, the former Tommy Morrison sparring partner, who's a big mate of Craig Cummins, the no-hoper, who actually floored Steve Collins when he came over here. He says he plans something similar for Hyde. There might be a bit of ring rust for Hyde, but a right hand gets through straight away, and that seemed to hurt. Reed, and a left hook's got him down. Within the opening, what was that, 10 or 15 seconds? And I'm not sure Reed will get up. He's never been in with a fighter at this level. Mandatory, he's cut as well underneath the left eye. Rudy Battle is asking him again, are you all right? He's not sure about it, you know. Neither am I. Battle says, put your gloves up. The referee almost didn't want to let that go on, and I think he's going to dive in here. And he's waving it. I think he's going to wave it off. Reed, it's all over in no time at all, and it was, I'm afraid to say, a predictable farce.
It was. He can't say anything more. He was not equipped for a fighter of Hyde's caliber, and he shouldn't have been in the ring. It was Hyde can only fight who's in front of him. He did his work right. A few good punches from Hyde were all it took, and he didn't. The referee was right. He didn't look as if he wanted to go on.
Well, we mentioned the Rocky story. You know, you can get to Rocky Balboa to beat Apollo Creed in the movies, but the reality, the hard reality of boxing is giving away all that weight, and with the huge jumping class, first time he was hit, he was blown away, and the WBO do have to ask themselves seriously how they allowed that fight to be sanctioned.
Hyde started very, very confidently, as he would. There's the right hand, just gets through the guard. He's everything trying to get out of the way there, Damon Reed. But nothing to come back from him. Scampering along the ropes, almost in fear of the punches coming from Hyde there. And that was a good left hook.
Well, I'm sure that Herbie Hide, although he'll be glad to have a first round win, and he is coming back after 10 months and a difficult time in his life, maybe it was right that he wasn't put in with anybody of the highest class, but this was definitely going to the other extreme.
Yes, I think this was a very long way from the highest class. Hyde can only do what he has to do, and he did it, but the other guys shouldn't have been in there.
And we've just got the official time, 52 seconds. This is the fastest win in heavyweight title history, beating James J. Jeffries' win over Jack Finnegan in 1900. 52 seconds, a new record at the Nynex in Manchester tonight. Well, Damon Reed will go in the record books for something anyway.
There's the stoppage. Rudy Battle knew he couldn't let him continue. He was completely out of his depth. And Herbie gets the win that he wanted, but I don't think he was that happy with it. He could have done with a little more work.
afraid to say it was all too predictable. And Herbie Hide now, he's talking about Lennox Lewis, he's talking about people running scared from him. He now has to be moved in and fight and beat a big name.
Yes, he's got to have the big names. And that certainly wasn't the fight that he needed.
Ladies and gentlemen, following the knockdown and the following action, referee Rudy Battle had to call a halt to the bout. The end comes at 52 seconds of the very first round. The winner by knockout victory and still the reigning WBO heavyweight champion of the world from North England, Herbie
Well, you can make your own mind up whether Damon Reed should have been in that ring in the first instance, but Herbie Hide quite evidently did some serious damage to Reed's eye, and maybe that was what convinced Rudy Battle that the man was in no condition to continue to take the sort of stuff that Herbie Hide can give out. So all's well that ends well, no slip-up for Hide. The possibility down the road of bigger fish. He's starting a word with Herbie, who is talking to Ian Darr.
Herbie, well done. You've gone into the record books tonight. 52 seconds. That is the fastest win in the entire history of World Heavyweight Championships.
It's just I'm very fast. Once I hit you cold, you would stay down. You know.
And you went over to George Foreman just there and started speaking to him. You're trying to get a fight with hung now.
I think Frank is trying to make a match between me and George Foreman. You know, like Lewis, any of them. You know, if they want to fight, I'm here. I think I've like 10 months off because of tragedy. But I'm with my little brother Alan, and now I've got over there. You can never go over such a thing. I still pray every day. I just like to say hi to my mum and my father in Abuja. I love you all.
Would you have wanted a longer fight than that tonight, ideally, after 10 months away?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't make like the match. It's Frank. That's Frank's job that makes the match.
Were you disappointed he didn't put up a bit more of a resistance than that? Because there were one or two boos from the crowd. I mean, they obviously want to see a bit more, don't they, of you?
Yeah, absolutely, I am. But you have to admit, this thing happens in boxing. This is boxing. That's what boxing is so exciting. You never know what can happen. He could have hit me and knocked me out. That is the way it goes in boxing.
Yeah, it was a sort of Rocky story, a club fighter given a chance, and in the movies it might have happened for him. It didn't happen here, did it?
Well, he went the distance with Brian Nielsen. Actually, he was robbed against Brian Nielsen, who is actually meant to be fighting Lennox Lewis.
So he went the distance with Nielsen anyway. I mean, you've done it in 52 seconds. Let's bring in Frank Warren here. Frank, just a quick question to you. Answer the point, because there's bound to be a bit of criticism with Reed's record as a club fighter. People will say that was a farce and shouldn't have been allowed to happen. What's your answer?
My answer to it is we've been trying very hard to make some matches for Herbie, and a lot of guys have been pulling out. It's been very difficult for us. This guy was in the top 12. So we made the match, brought him over. Obviously, I'd like to see Herbie get some rounds under his belt. We want to see him in some meaningful fights. It's his first fight for 10 months, and you know the reasons why he's been out of the ring. And hopefully the next fight for him, he'll get some rounds under his belt. All he can do is beat the guys that I put in front of him. I would like a stronger opponent, a better opponent. It's not one of the matches I'm certainly proud of, and I hold my hands up to it. But he did what he had to do.